You're live.
All right. Well, Brad, thank you so much. And for everybody that's taking time out of their busy schedules today in this very busy market, I want to say thank you. And, I'm excited that I get to spend this hour with you. My intention is very simple. You see my goals up there. I always want to have fun. If you've worked with me before in the past, I laugh at myself. I'm going to say something today that hopefully makes you giggle a little bit. More importantly, I want to help you take a lot more listings, and I want to help you increase your commissions. I just met with one of my clients this morning who, Brad, kind of exciting. He's a Zillow advocate. His name is Tim Smith. Just listed a $29 million oceanfront, and we were talking about, how do you maintain your fees at these extraordinary price levels? And whether you're listing a house today at $140,000 or, you're listing a house at $29 million, today the seller has a lot of options, and they can always find somebody that will do it for less, somebody that will raise the price higher, offer way more. So my hope is after we show you a series of marketing strategies that are working right now for our clients, that we also can increase your skills, enhance what it is you're doing to have a little more confidence to win the business, to get the listing, and then get it priced correctly and ultimately at the right fees. So let's jump in. Actually, I'll show you that one a little bit. I love this. Brad, I didn't show this last time. I have two boys, and I say this to you all. You're looking at that slide, and you're going, what in the world is this guy talking about? My wonderful son, Stephen, 12 years old, says to me, Daddy, for my birthday, I want a snake. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. Have you cleared that one with your mother yet? He said, Daddy, I really want a snake. And I said, tell me why. And he said, well, in science class, we were learning about snakes, and he said, what I was told essentially is that this reptile will grow and expand to the size of its environment. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, they had done studies on, putting a boa constrictor, a python, a big, what would become a 15 to 20-foot snake into a small cage, and the snake would only grow to the size of the cage. And I said, well, that's great, Stephen. I'm glad you're learning that. I said, so, why do you want one? He said, well, I thought it'd be really fun if we got one of those pythons and we let it loose in the house to see how big it could get. Of course, I'm giggling saying, but I love that science project. But it really had me thinking, first of all, the snakes would probably eat the dog, and that's not good. I said, but, Stephen, I love what you're thinking. I'll probably share this with a few of my clients because what was he really saying? Metaphorically, he was saying, if you want to list a lot of homes, if your snake cage, in this case, is your mindset, your belief, I can give you all the best marketing on the planet. I can give you all the best skills on the planet. But if you're not believing in your heart of hearts that you can do more, if the size of your mental environment isn't expanding beyond sort of this myopic approach that most agents take to their business today, then it doesn't matter how much you learn. So I want to start by asking you, right, this question, faith or fear? Faith or fear? As I give you all these ideas today, because of my relationship with Zillow, giving you the best marketing right now, like what's moving the needle? You send out 200 pieces, you get 2 come list me calls, like really rocking stuff. Faith or fear? By the way, those are my 2 boys, so, I'm a proud daddy. You have to ask yourself, do I have faith that I can take more listings? Faith that I can help even more people? Do I have faith that I can impact so many more people, take so much more listings? I've got the confidence that I go out, I'm going to take the business, I'm going to win the listings. Or is there some fear? Is there some fear about, Tom, I'm already so busy. Don't you understand that, I'm already working 7 days a week, and, I'm on this conference call because the truth is I just wanted to avoid business for like an hour and take a little break from the day. Faith or fear? Which one are you going to operate from? I say that just for today, as I'm sharing with you, as you're, discovering, I'm revealing some of these just rockin' marketing campaigns and dialogues to win the business, that you just focus on the faith aspect, that you can do it, that every single one of us on the line can improve just a little bit more today and be a little more effective today. And in doing so, you're naturally, that snake cage is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So here's a couple of really important questions. And oops, they were so important I passed them right by. You know, Brad, I ask people all the time, how many people listed with you in 2012? You know, how many listings did you take? Then I ask, how many, you know, for the person listening right now, how many are you committed to list in 2013? We're seeing the rich and the rest out there. We're seeing people that are taking lots of listings, and we're seeing a lot of people that are, you know, complaining about a shortage of inventory versus, you know, being proactive and doing something about it. I was in Dallas, Texas last week doing a workshop, and a young guy, Cody Longmire, walked up to me and said, you know, I really got it. I came to your workshop last year, and it was May, and Brad, he had done 2 sales for the year. And, you know, you say, well, you know, what's his average sales price? Well, how about like $190,000? So, you know, he had made $10,000, $15,000 in the first 5 months, and he said, look, if I do everything you're talking about, what can I expect? I said, what's your goal? He said, I'd like to make $150,000 between now and the end of the year. And I said, if you just have some faith and follow through, and you just use the stuff we're teaching you, you just use it, you can absolutely achieve that goal. Well, he didn't. He made $148,000 basically from June until the end of the year. He missed it by $2,000. And when I just saw him, you know, last week, here we are, you know, end of April, you know, beginning of May, he had already done 16 transactions in, you know, the first 4.5, 5 months. The reality is this, my friends. Every single one of us needs to look at that last question. How many ways am I marketing to attract more sellers? I mentioned the word myopic a minute ago, and the struggle that I see and the beauty of Zillow is that, you know, we're helping people diversify like you would your investment portfolio, diversify your listing attraction campaigns. What we need is more lines in the water trying to catch as many fish as we can. You know, if you want to list way more homes in 2013, you can only squeeze your primary lemon so much before there just simply is no more juice. So take a look at where listings are coming from right now with our clients. So I'll just put all the numbers up there, and you can just kind of take a snapshot of this in your mind. You can see that 38% of the listings are coming by way of past clients in Sphere, that 19% coming by way of direct mail, or specifically the Yikes campaign. The Yikes campaign you're all going to see today. It is a devastating little campaign that is really moving the needle and causing a lot of come list me calls. But overall, direct mail is making a significant comeback. And I think a big part of the reason why is agents are making more money, they're looking to attract more business, and we're going back to some of the tried and true direct response vehicles that we've used in the past. Look at the next one there, 15% from open houses and geo farms. And, you know, we all know with Zillow, why are we on Zillow? I know agents up in Seattle that have literally said to me, I bought as much as I could of Mercer Island. Even though I wasn't a dominant agent there, I bought as much as I could because I knew if I was doing sort of geo-farming strategy on Zillow online, I was going to win the war against the local dominant agent. And, of course, the answer is they did. Well, today it's that online-offline combination of, you know, being on Zillow, but also doing the direct mail and doing open houses. And I'm going to show you all a strategy today to do open houses where you get listing appointments from open houses. 9% from expired, 7% from Zillow, list to buy, 12% from others. You know, we work with a lot of clients in New York City, so for sale by owners can be a big factor there. Sign calls, relocation, and more. The big key that you're going to see there is diversification, right? This non-myopic approach to growing their business. You know, not just working one source or having only 2 sources, but having multiple sources that are bringing in the business. Now, if you ask, you know, what are the results, you can see right there. Our clients from, you know, 2011 made an average of $92,000, 17 sides. 2012, they more than doubled. You know, 114% growth on income, 90% growth on sides. Their goal for this year, 44 transactions, $412,000 in income, and we just got our first quarter numbers in. They're a little behind on GCI, right? A little behind on GCI, but, you know, closed versus pending, so we all know that game, at 11.62 transactions. So clearly what they're doing is working. They're getting the listings, which really brings up this question. What cycle of the business are you in today? What cycle of the business are you in today? And just take a look at this simple little slide. You know, having coached and trained in, you know, Brad, in, let's see, September of this year, I'll finish my 25th year in the industry.
Wow, congratulations.
And, you know, for now, yeah, thank you. I mean, it's shocking to think I've been doing this for that long. You know, now for, you know, 18 of those years coaching, and for 20 of those years doing seminars and trainings and creating marketing pieces like I'll be sharing today. What I know is everybody's in one of 5 phases. We're either in the startup phase of our business, you know, the first 3 to 5 years, you know, learning about the customers, learning about the market, you know, how in the world do I use the MLS, you know, how do I become more efficient, how do I become more effective, learning presentations, versus the growth phase, which is the big opportunity and what separates, you know, the masses, right, from the rock stars. The rock stars get out of startup and go right to growth and begin to build their business, and the masses jump right across to the right and end up in that category called the fading winner. And the fading winner really is best described as people that are really, really good. Like, they're good with clients, right? They're great at negotiation. They've got phenomenal customer service skills, but what they lack is lead generation. What they lack is multiple ways to attract new business. I describe it always as, if you all remember I Love Lucy, Lucy on Ethel, working at the chocolate factory. You know, the goal of every business is to be in that situation where those two ladies were when, you know, the chocolates start coming down the conveyor belt. Imagine each one of those as a prospect, and they take the prospect, they qualify the appointment, they take the listing, they make the sale, and they put it inside the box. And as the chocolates were coming down slowly, it was okay. Then the manager said, okay, speed it up. And if you remember that, you know, you should Google or put it on YouTube. It's hysterical, the little 2-minute clip of all of a sudden the chocolates coming down so fast that the girls were shoving them in their bra and in their hat, and they were eating them, and they couldn't manage the number of leads that were coming in. Well, that really is, you know, what personifies growth to cash cow. You know, when you are in massive growth mode, you're talking to and working with and interacting with more prospects than you ever have before, and ultimately it leads to the cash cow, where, you know, you have 1/3 to 50% of your gross income is, you know, profit to you after expenses, after taxes. It's an enormous amount of money. That's what's available, but it doesn't happen with this sort of myopic onesie twosie approach to your business. There's more fading winners in real estate than we've ever seen, and there's a big percentage of people today that are in restructure mode, trying to figure it all out. Now, we might have all 5 on the line today with this many people, but it's really good to know where you are. And then what I would ask you all to think about is this: commit to growth. Just commit to growth. Commit to growing your business and expanding your listing attraction. So you see a little quote there: growth comes from consistent, turnkey, relevant is a very important word today, lead generation with great conversion skills. So a lot of the relevant conversation can really be, you know, handled right here. So just take a look at this. We all read the same reports. I'm sure you all read the Google NAR report that came out not too long ago, December of last year. Phenomenal piece, talking about, you know, how consumers are deciding today, what's important to them. And the big standout we all know is that they're searching for reviews on customers. The number was 29% of people selected their agent, you, based on reviews. So how many reviews do you have on Zillow? And, you know, I have a client today who just told me, my goal is to have over 200 reviews on Zillow. And Brad, he said, I don't know if anybody has that many, but whatever the number is, I want to have the most. You know, he's highly competitive. He's got, you know, 20 years of real estate experience, and he said, I could easily get 200 on there. What impact could that have? And I said, well, if you look at the process of how clients are choosing their agent today, it's brand name that they trust, but a big part of it still is the, you know, the reviews, which create or cultivate the referral, and of course, proof of success. So consider the following. Ready? Let's go right into the first campaign. Everybody on the line wants to attract more referrals. You saw that it's 38% of the listings that are coming in from our clients. So let me show you the campaigns that they're running that are causing them to win the listings that they want by working their past clients in Sphere. And it's right there. 554 plus 1E plus 1M equals, in many cases, more money than we can spend. So the 554 campaign, my friends, if you're taking notes, you see it right there. It's 5 past client conversations, 5 new conversations with people you don't know, and 4 lead follow-up conversations. That discipline of 5 either call, text, personal email, hey Brad, how's it going, thinking about you, have any idea what, the new value of your home as an example, not blanket emails, personal emails, and that 5 past client conversations, sphere conversations, whether it's text, call, email, Facebook, as long as I get interaction, as long as I get responses and I'm asking the right questions, Brad, I just sold a home down the street. It sold, your same model match property sold for $10,000 more than asking. Congratulations, your home's new value is X. Don't you wish you would have bought 2? And by the way, have you had any thoughts of selling? Any conversation like that is going to cultivate a lot of referrals. Then they have 5 new conversations and 4 lead follow-up conversations. You can also see it says 1E, as in 1 email a month. So 1 time a month, and many of my clients are, by the way, doing 2 and 3 and 4 emails. I'm just mindful of things like open rates. If I over-email, then I over-email, and they begin to not read it, not take as, the sort of stance of trying to figure out what it is I'm trying to offer, deliver information on the market, right? It becomes less relevant. Remember we were all excited about Groupon. Oh my God, I can get a sushi meal for like $10 that's $100 value, and today all of that's inside your spam filter. Same thing with your email into your database. You want to be very mindful of what you send them. 1 mailer a month is a major thing we're seeing big results coming from today, where we're providing information, giving them data, newsletters, and more. So, here's the little texting strategy. You may want to take a photo of this or, take a snapshot on your screen. This is the easiest way to do it. I text Brad today and say, Brad, the market's really moving and your home value is going up, up, up. Do you want to know your home's new value? Brad's going to text me right back and say, sure, sounds great. Wonderful, Brad. I'll put together your home's value. Have you done any upgrades? Once it's ready, do you want to meet for coffee, or should I email or mail you, right? Should I send it to you? The reality is, my friends, every one of us on the line knows we want to meet him for coffee. We want to get face-to-face, 15, 20 minutes, in front of a past client, having a cup of coffee in a social setting, Starbucks, Pete's Coffee, someplace great. You're going to see other people and the act of putting together the CMA, letting them know the new value gets the wheels turning, and people start thinking real estate and start thinking about new values and maybe investing again, or hey, are there still deals out there to be bought, or my brother-in-law wants to sell his house, and bam, just like that, you're winning business from this campaign. If they ask you how's the market, that's an important conversation today. So I gave you a little dialogue. Inventory levels are low. When a great home comes on the market, buyers and investors are writing offers and driving prices up. I'm curious, have you had any thoughts of selling? Do you know anybody who's had any thoughts of selling? Do you know anybody that tried to sell in the past and it didn't work out? These questions and more will, again, just up your confidence. You'll know what to say. You'll get a better response from people. You're asking very powerful questions and telling the truth about what's happening in the market. Here's a little social proof direct mail piece you should take a look at. We asked all of our clients in January, February to send, a nice, simple, like there's the back of the postcard, there's the front of the postcard of every transaction they did last year. So here's Lydia Gable, great Prudential agent, right in the Los Angeles Valley. Here's all the properties that she sold. Notice she didn't put prices on there. She just kind of focused on, multiple offers on some, over asking, represented buyer and seller, but everyone sold, 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 sold. Nice piece, real simple, but read the back. That's the back of the piece. Are you planning to sell your home? The timing couldn't be better. The market's improved. This means that sellers are in the best position they've been in years to get top dollar. The proof is in my numbers, 98% or more of selling price to list price. Average selling time, 43 days, all 5-star reviews on Zillow. I love this. Listen to this call to action. Take the first step. Let's meet and talk. No pressure. Contact me today. Very nice. The whole free CMA thing is, I don't even know. I don't even want to say it's like 2010. It's so, I don't know, 1998, right? Today, it's about being warm, friendly, and conversational and not having realtors speak in our marketing pieces. That's what's moving the needle. Here's another beautiful example. One of our clients from New York City, Josh Rubin, number 9 agent out of 4,000 in New York for Douglas Elliman, great company there. Josh, because he's dealing with, very sophisticated clientele, you can see his how's the market. He's really doing a good job sort of the way you would with a stock account, like a stockbroker, ticker tape. Here's what's happening. Look at the numbers year over year, 29% up, fourth quarter closings, average sales price, price per square foot, days on market, inventory 34% down year over year, 12-year low. It's very powerful, but then watch how sexy he makes it. So on one side you've got this, but on the back he goes like with this. Look at this. I mean, Brad, Celeb Estate, an inside look at celebrity transactions in Manhattan.
I love it.
And the interesting thing is that got talked about way more than market data. So, we turned, what is common, like everybody knows who's buying in the city, and we actually turned it into a marketing piece, and it got tremendous buzz, as you can imagine. So, again, your past clients see this, and, he did get a few phone calls. People were saying, did you sell all those people a house? Right? And, of course, he's just happy that they're calling. The answer, of course, was no, but he did work with a few of them. So let's switch gears to open houses. One of the things that I see today is open house traffic is way up. Everyone on the line knows it. And the challenge is you still have agents today that are saying, I don't want to do open houses, Brad, because, the nosy neighbors, they eat up all my time. And my response is, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's create a situation where we get listings from open houses. Like let's create a marketing campaign that actually gets listings from open houses. Check out this little quote. Richard Noby put this on my Facebook page recently, so I had to pop up and show you. Tom, thanks for helping change my life. I offered to do a mega open house on 3/20. By the way, this was March 20th. What we're talking 40 days ago, whatever, 50 days ago. And here's the best part. This was on a listing that was not his. He did this for someone else's listing. He said, thanks for changing my life. I offered to do a mega open house on 3/20, not his listing. I got a buyer for the house. Yay, got 3 listing appointments, closed all 3, sold 2 of the houses in 3 days. Anyway, this article just came out in the Pomerado News here in Poway, and it was basically talking about what he had done in the experience because he had so many darn people coming through his open house. So this is what I want for you. I want you to do open houses where you get listings. So here's the mega open house campaign. I'm just going to put the whole thing up and have you just kind of take a look at it. On Monday, I'm going to start my marketing of the open house by recording a video, grab my iPhone. Hi, my name is Tom Ferry. I'm with Banana Real Estate, standing in front of my beautiful listing here at the corner of 1234 Banana Street, Humma Humma and Humma Humma near school A, B, and C. This home has not been on the market for close to 15 years, but it's not going to be on the market for long. We're going to be holding it open for the first time in 15 years this Sunday between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. If you or someone you know is interested in living in the community of X, near school A, B, and C, freeway access to yada, 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 then by all means forward them this email and ask them to reach out and call me at 555-1212 because we'd love to show them this property. If you're in the neighborhood and you want to stop by from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, we'll be holding it open. Thanks so much. I'm Tom Ferry, Banana Real Estate. Video ends. On Tuesday, I emailed out to my 200 interested buyers that are, I've been cultivating on Zillow and other, online strategies. Then I asked my sellers to post that video on Facebook so all 300 of their friends know that they chose me as their listing agent. That's a big one, everybody. Pay attention. Thursday, Friday, if possible, I'm going to knock on doors and give an invitation out. I was just talking to one of my clients, Lance, who I was with last week, as I mentioned, in Dallas. Lance says, Tom, I'm out knocking on doors, and I'm saying, hi, my name is Lance, and I wanted to invite you to my open house this Sunday. We're doing a little lunch for all the neighbors. And he said, Tom, 2 people flat out said to me, it's funny you just came by, we're thinking about selling our house. He said, I got 2 listing appointments by knocking on 90 doors around a property that I knew I was going to sell very quickly with multiple offers, and I didn't even go into the pitch. I just was telling them, please come to my open house, and I'm doing lunch for the neighbors. So I cannot overestimate or I cannot emphasize is the appropriate word, how important it is to get out there face-to-face and, connect with the people in these communities if you can. Sunday, 9:30 to 11, put out as many signs as you can, 10 to 30. If you do 3, which is the norm, go to 10. If you already do 10, go to 30. You can't have people saying enough, oh my God, Brad, I see your signs everywhere. Like, that's a quality problem to have. So more signs. 11:30 to 1, we invite the neighbors in for lunch. And of course, what happens the entire time, they're saying, Brad, is this really going to sell for $385,000? Is this really going to sell for $1.6 million? And you say to them, it will. And because there's no other homes on the market today, we're going to have a real serious problem. One buyer is going to be really happy, but 5, 6, 7 others are going to be crying in their soup. So do you know anybody else that's thinking about selling? Because this one's going to sell quickly. And bam, you are in the door with lots of opportunity in that community. Because we all know when one home sells, usually 1 to 2 more sell right away. So let's be the one that is marketing early and creating the relationships in advance to get the listing, because we all know today the seller wants to list with the person that may already have the buyer, and I'm going to show you a marketing piece that's going to bedazzle you on how you're going to get that word out as well. So let's talk geographic farming for a second. And again, I know I'm going through, some of these relatively quickly. I'll have an opportunity for all of you to get a copy of all the slides at the end. But let's keep going. Geographic farming. By the way, big shout out to Zillow because they're making that available, a little special offer from us. So geo farming. The bottom line is the data shows us the consumers want the local expert, online and off. That's why, being a part of Zillow is such a fantastic brand strategy as well as lead generation move. So I would ask you, if you're thinking about starting a farm or starting back up at geographic farming, where have you or your company had the most sales? Right? Always easier to market where you've got a track record. Where's the annual turnover higher than 6%? So if you're going after 500 homes in a series of subdivisions or buildings, that there's at least 30 sales for you to go after. There's a market for you to go after. How many homes can you effectively manage? 200, 500, 1,000. We have clients today that are farming to 17,000 homes, and with a spend $1, make 8 return on investment, it adds up. It works. And then number 4, maybe ask your company, do they have any incentives for geographic farming, or maybe a partnership with a lender or someone else that wants to get the word out. So there's some ways to look at this from a sweat equity as well as a check equity opportunity when it comes to geographic farming. Now, a big one for you guys, and Brad, I don't normally share this, but I find that all of our coaching clients that are on Zillow are just a little more advanced than the average agent. They really understand the online game. They understand online advertising. They know what it means, to spend, $200, $500, $10,000 a month with Zillow because they know, lead generation. They understand the online world. One of the great discoveries we've had in the last 60 days is Facebook basically shared with us that we could take a list of homeowners and I could upload them into Facebook and run targeted ads to just the homeowners inside those communities. So, here you are, you dominate a part of a zip code, so when they go to Zillow, they see you. But, Zillow gets 50 million views, which is, by far the most in the real estate space, but Facebook gets that like every 4 seconds. So what if it was like the ultimate trifecta, if you will? They're getting a direct mail piece from you. They see you at open houses, right? You're doing all the on-the-ground stuff. Then they go online and they see you on Zillow. Then they turn their Facebook page on, and there's a photo of you standing next to a home in the community with a sold sign saying, thinking about selling your Irvine Terrace property? Contact me today. You could run those kind of targeted Facebook ads to the 300 homeowners in that building or in that subdivision, and that's pretty sexy. In terms of your marketing plan, 2 mailers a month, door drops, just listed, just sold, market updates, home values, real estate newsletter, community news, all the stuff, right? The real key is I got them on Zillow, get them on Facebook, do the open house, plus they get a mailer or 2 a month. It's going to be pretty hard for them to not be thinking you are the option. You are the option. Here's a beautiful sample of a newsletter. I really wanted to show you this, though. That's the back of the newsletter. So, here's Anthony Riggins, great Sotheby's agent, kind of just outside of the Oakland marketplace near San Francisco. Higher end, sales above $1 million, sales below $1 million. Great Sotheby's agent, terrific guy. Anthony says to me, Tom, I really like the idea of marketing and doing farming where I've done sales. I said, well, why don't you create a piece that shows your town and shows where you make sales, and now we have this. And, you know, that's just a beautiful little $300 caricature that was created off like 99 Designs or, you know, Fiverr or Odesk, any one of these, you know, fantastic solutions where we can spend, you know, very little money to have really cool, classy pieces created. So love that. Also love this piece. Really demonstrates if you're knocking on doors, how easy this is. You know, housing market trends, right? There are more buyers than there are sellers. The spring market started early. I've got clients in Minnesota that said, Tom, the spring market started in January, and it's finally thawing out right now. The reality is that visual, simple, arrow up, home prices going up pretty much has every consumer getting what's going on. And the more we're showing them stuff that's easy, it resonates, it connects with them, they know immediately what it means, we're empowering them to turn around and use you, right? Here's the Walker team, a great group within Terra Real Estate in Northern California. I love this piece so much I don't want to share it with you. Brad, is that bad?
It kind of is. Go back.
All right, okay. Actually, I love this piece even more. But this piece, right, Ken is just such a rock star. So check this out, guys. If everybody's mailing just listed and just sold cards, how do you make sure that your message gets read? Well, Ken, working with his coach, creates this campaign where, Brad, they send in envelopes like letters from the seller to the community saying, we sold our home and we hired this amazing guy, Ken, and he did it for us, and if you're thinking about selling, he can do it for you. But the key is, listen very carefully, these are not on his Keller Williams letterhead. These are coming from the seller. Now, of course, the client, Ken, does all the work. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, are you guys okay if we write a letter telling the neighbors about your experience with us, just like you did the review on Zillow? I'd like to send this out and have it touch everybody. You know, we'll hand address them, we'll hand stamp them, we'll make sure they get in the hands of everybody. Are you guys comfortable? And we'll pay for everything. They're like, no problem. You show them the sample letter, like something like this, and they're like, that's great. Go ahead and send it. Ken sends that 250 times on average around every just sold and gets on average 5 phone calls. That's really, really good, my friends. Don't share this with anybody else. When your buddy says, oh, were you on the Zillow webinar to get all motivated with that coach guy? Don't share this with anyone. It's that good. It's that good.
I love it.
Okay? This one I love because, again, we got to play to the greed of people today. So look at the headline in the top right corner there. That's the front of his postcard, and then below on the left you see the back of his postcard. Money isn't everything unless it's yours. What a great headline versus just sold. You know, what a lame headline just sold is. Money isn't everything unless it's yours. We get more for our clients. Our recent sales were at or above list price, and you can see he demonstrated all that. Then down at the bottom it says, you know, we work hard to get more for our clients. Ben Saunders, more money, better results. And then I love bottom left, a competent listing agent should hold a track record for negotiating sales prices that are very close to list price, and you can see that came directly from a CNNmoney.com article. Boy, what a great piece with a review down below. Kind of hard to read there, but that's a review right off Zillow. Bam, he slapped it on one of his direct mail pieces. That is moving the needle. Now I got to show you my favorite one. This is the one that, let's see, it would have been, what month are we in, Brad? Are we in May? So this would have been about January of last year, not this year, January of last year. All of our clients started saying, oh my God, the market's picking up. And this is what I kept hearing. I'm writing offers, and I'm in multiple offer situations, and they're not REOs. They're not short sales. Like, they're retail deals. And we're writing multiple. How do we write these offers, you know, better to get more multiple offers? And I was like, well, that's easy, you know, boom, 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 boom. But then I started thinking to myself, okay, we've all watched the trend. We all know the market's getting better. How do we take this lost offer, no inventory strategy and turn it into a listing tool? How do we take the I've got a buyer and turn it into get me a listing? So we came up with this campaign called Yikes. Now, I show you this just because you got to love it. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. This is a text message sent to me January 31st of this year. You can see yikes right on the left, and these guys, Cal American Homes, right? Great guys, Jesse and Jason. Look at the text from them. Here's the photo, Tom. My phone won't stop ringing. 47 sites closed this month, right? My little text back them, yeah, baby, right? I love this because they took the Yikes campaign and they just implemented it. They just simply implemented it. So here's what it looks like. This is the origin, the original Yikes piece, and it's been modified many times over. So imagine this tri-folded, hand-addressed, my friends, stamped and mailed around a recent listing that sold that you had a buyer that didn't get the deal. Yikes! Your neighbor's home at 5392 Bonanza Lane just went into escrow, and our buyer, Susan Pinkstaff, missed it. Susan just sold her home of almost 30 years just across Warner Avenue and wants to downsize to Fernhill, her favorite community. If you have any thoughts of selling, please call us. Susan is ready to go. She's a cash buyer. She can close as little as 21 days or allow up to 60 days for you to move and or give tenants notice, which we can help you with too. Please consider prices are moving up, but appraisals are an issue, not with the cash buyer. All this can be modified, my friends. All this is modified to make it right for you. So this could say, your neighbor's home at 5392 just went into escrow, and 11 people wrote an offer. Only one person got it, which means there's 10 other neighbors or 10 other buyers that are desperate to live here in Fernhill. As the listing agent, you can modify it and do it just like that. I love the blue, the one right above the blue highlighted down at the bottom. It says, save money and time, only one agent representing both parties. Yeah, baby. Always easier to negotiate with the other agent when you are the other agent. So I love that one. Here's an example of one of our clients who did the same thing just in a written form. I'm Shannon Rose. I'm the realtor who sold the home at, such and such street. The real estate market in the first quarter of 2012 has been vastly different. Home, prices, yada, yada, yada. I love this one actually the most. One happy buyer, right? One buyer's happy, 7 others crying in their soup. To my Oak Lawn area homeowners, I listed and sold the property at 4030 Gilbert, number 10 at Sunscape Condos here in Dallas. Marketing matters. Listen to this. We had 110 showings on the property. We had 8 written offers on the property. There are 7 other buyers who are dead serious and want to buy a home right now in your area. 102 other buyers looked at this property and are still out there looking. If you want to sell your home, now may be the best time in a long time. I have the inside scoop on 109 potential buyers for your home right now. Want to talk about it? Call me, visit my website, email me. So simple, so beautiful. 200 pieces he sends out on average, 60 cents. He asks his receptionist, would you please handwrite these addresses? And I'm sure he gives her a few dollars, and they do it for her, and bam, he says, Tom, this is the guy, by the way, I mentioned to you who did 2 deals last year, and between January and May, and has done 16 year to date. His goal is 60 for the year. Marketing matters, my friends. So I love this quote because it's a nice segue. We've got about 20 minutes left. And I know I'm going fast, Brad, and remember we're going to make it, an opportunity for everybody to get the slides so they can, work more effectively with all this stuff. I love this quote because this really summarizes everything we do for people. A system will produce what a system will produce, nothing more, nothing less. So all these marketing ideas are awesome, and if your snake cage is expanded and you're sitting here thinking, I want to get way more listings, and, Tom, I get it, like I've got to compete today, like, more than ever before, check it out. We actually have an entire 1-year marketing plan with everything we're discussing here, written out where you can, have it like in a Excel spreadsheet as an example. And you could, by the way, you can see like there's a blank version if you want to create your own. And we also have one January through December for one of our great clients who, worked with a coach on this, and we had all of our clients essentially work on this. So we know, and we're tracking and measuring what it is they're doing, because the system's going to produce what a system's going to produce, nothing more, nothing less. We've got to get out of this sort of myopic one approach. I think you're clear on that. We've got to have multiple channels of attracting listings, and you got to have a system in place to know what is going out, to who, what format, email, mail, door knock, seminar, class, whatever, process date, by when, The outcome I want, the desired results, one listing, one buyer, three buyers, one listing, one buyer. The actual outcome, so I know, is what I'm doing working, and then the cost, right? What's my return on investment, and then the number of pieces. So we're tracking all this, giving people, empowering people to know what's working in their business and grow and expand. I just love it. I love it. It's all about systems today. So let's transition with never lose a listing. And Brad, I show I've got like 18 minutes. I want to be super mindful. There's a lot of ground to cover here, but again, we're gonna make an opportunity for everybody to get the slides. So it should be a no-brainer. I don't want you ever to lose a listing, my friends, and I understand that there is always an agent that is willing to overprice it to get the business. There's always an agent that is willing to reduce their fees to nothing to get the business. We could be out bonded, somebody knows me better than you. So we're going to lose now and then, but I want you to win like 80, 90% of the time. So let's talk about some of the strategies. There's a lot of strategies involved in being a great listing agent. Let's start with marketing plan. Once you're with the sellers, they only want to know three things. How much are you going to sell my home for? What are you going to do in terms of marketing to make that happen? And what are you going to charge me? What we want to do now, as you can see there, build a better case as to why they should choose you for each, right? So, commissions, marketing, and pricing. So let's start with your marketing plan. Two killer strategies that I want you to incorporate into your marketing plan so you win. One is called Stack the Cool, and the other is called the Law of Contrast. So let's talk about Stack the Cool first. You can see it there in your notes. It says, to utilize Stack the Cool, you're simply going to have more marketing initiatives than any other agent, right? Don't get beaten because somebody else had a shinier, bell or whistle than you. For example, the average agent today has no more than 12 things on their marketing plan. 12, that's it. Ask yourself, how many do I have on mine, right? I want you to have 20. If you're in a highly competitive environment and agents have 20, then you want to have 30. We have clients today with 39 things on their marketing list. They just break everything down a little bit more robustly than, say, I put your home on all these websites. They'll break down the different websites and sort of the premium placement that their listing would have and the traffic. So essentially, if you're getting 20 times in a row from a seller, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, can you see how me doing this is going to cause you to bring in the most agents, the most buyers, and ultimately the highest price? Every time they say yes, 15, 20, 30 times in a row, you're stacking the marketing cool. Don't get beat because somebody else promises to do more. And before you go, wait a minute, Tom, oh my God, the market's so hot, I won't even have time to do all that. Look, most of you, you're going to hit enter in the MLS, and that's your total marketing plan. That's it. But we can't say that to the seller today. They're hiring us to market their home. So don't get beaten by another agent who's not as good as you because they just simply offered more in terms of marketing. So watch. Start with the following dialogue. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I could line up 100 agents out your door, and since we're all looking at the same data in the MLS, we're all going to give you a very similar price. I find my clients want to know how I'm going to market your home to find the highest number of qualified buyers. So shall we go through my marketing plan? Does that sound good? And the point is we want to get them to say yes on marketing, right, before we go into pricing. Now, we put up like a sample, 19-point plan of action, right, in terms of marketing. You've all seen something like this. You don't want to have it the way I'm showing you here. This is just like Word doc. You don't want that. You want it to be sexy. You want it to have photos. You take your marketing plan and you go to Fiverr, F-I-V-E-R-R, Fiverr.com, and you say, to someone at Fiverr, they do work for like $5. These are like freelance artists and developers and designers, and you say, here's my 22-point plan of action in terms of marketing. For $5 or $10, could you add some pizzazz to it? Could you show some photos? Could you make it look pretty? Could you make it look sexy? Could you have visual demonstrations, maybe even videos? There's a lot that they can do very inexpensively to make your marketing plan look beautiful. So there's not a single person I recommend on Fiverr, in case you're wondering. Fiverr, Odesk, 99 Designs. These are just sites you can go to find freelance marketing support and help to get all this stuff done at a low cost, right? So you guys are clear on it. So, here's my 19-point plan of action. Get the yes, 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 get the yes. The second strategy is the law of contrast. This one is super effective, especially when you're competing. Here's how it works. When presenting your marketing plan, you want to contrast what you do versus other agents in the market so the seller clearly sees the difference between you and others. I've got sitting on my desk here a wonderful book called Differentiate or Die. Differentiate or Die. And if you haven't read this book, the author's Jack Trout, T-R-O-U-T, like the fish. Jack Trout does a really nice job really articulating very simply the law of contrast, that everybody's looking for something different today. They see real estate agents as all the same. How could everybody be number one is kind of a typical sort of consumer response. So how are we going to contrast you versus those other agents, maybe those other agents at your own office? Here's a few easy examples. Show bad listing photography versus professional photography, right? That's a no-brainer. A video tour on the property versus just photos. One of our coaches, Lisa Doyle, 100-deal-a-year producer, J. Rockcliffe Realtors, East Bay of California, before she walks into the listing appointment, stands outside and records a coming soon to the market video before she even lists the house. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when they say, what are you going to do differently? She says, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, watch this quick video I recorded here on my iPhone. She hits play, and the sellers are wowed because she's like, hi, my name is Lisa Doyle, and I'm with Jay Rockcliffe. I'm about to list this beautiful 4-bedroom, 3-bath, mid-century modern right here in the community of X. This amazing home has not been on the market for almost 16 years, and we know in a desirable community like this, it's going to sell, and it's going to sell quickly. We are going, and she talks about the house, right? And she's done this before she's even listed the house. That's the law of contrast in action. Number 3, a mega open house versus an open house is a good example. And then, once you've presented all your marketing and you clearly demonstrated the difference between you and everybody else, now that you've seen all that we can do in terms of marketing, do you have any questions? Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I promise you, I will market your home more effectively than any other agent, and that's what you're looking for, correct? So can we agree you definitely want our marketing plan? Is that right? Little check close, super easy. They're going to say yes, right? Now, don't get beat on price. The mistake that most agents make is they say, so let's take a look at the comps. What do you want to list your home for? Let's take a look at the comps. What do you want to list your home for? Let's take a look. What do you feel comfortable with? What pricing are you comfortable with? And the sellers, always, do a little wackadoo on you. I think the mistake here is that we don't give them options. And then through a series of pros and cons analysis, have them do a better job selecting the right price. They ultimately are going to select the price. We need a better education platform. Take a look at what we recommend. Once you've gone through the comps, transition with the following. Now that we review the marketing, I'm going to recommend 3 different pricing options. Number 1, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we can push the envelope on price and go above the market. Number 2, we can price it at fair market value. And as I mentioned to you, before we started the marketing conversation, I can line up 100 agents outside that door and everybody sees the same prices. Number 3, we can create a frenzy and we can price it below fair market value. Let's discuss the pros and cons of both so then we can decide which is best for you. And then what do? You do pros and cons of above the market. Inside the MLS, our MLS runs in increments of $50,000. If we price it above that $50,000 increment, that next price above, the agents that are looking and the consumers that are looking begin to start questioning why your home is smaller, has less bedrooms, or is in a less desirable part of town versus that desirable part of town. And that's going to impact the showings, right? Pros and cons. Pros and cons of pricing it at fair market value. Again, everybody knows the prices between Zillow and MLS Access and savvy buyers out there in the marketplace. Everybody kind of knows, and if it's priced at fair market value, here's the pros and cons. Versus the pros and cons of pricing below fair market value. Now, if you've got some demonstratable stories of what happens when you price it below, and we create that frenzy, if you've got some stories like, Brad, the house right above me just sold. I was actually talking to one of my clients this morning, having coffee, and we're talking about it. He said, wow, can you believe that house sold in your neighborhood right above your house with 51 offers in 3 days? 51 offers. I said, well, they listed it at lot value, like as if there was no house there. And it ended up selling, by the way, for almost, you take the list price like $1.5 million. It sold for like $2 million, $500,000 above the list price, which really turned out to be about $200,000 above fair market value. What a fantastic story. If it makes sense, share it with your customers. Names, which pricing option would you like to move forward with tonight? Empower them with more options. Just be mindful of, you know your area, you know pricing, pros and cons. Leave the pros and cons conversation to what's going to ultimately serve them to sell fast, to sell for top dollar, not leaving any money behind, but, you know, a fast, efficient, great sale. Then the moment of truth. Isn't it funny, like, we get through marketing and they're yes, 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 yes. We get through pricing and we agree on price. And by the way, you get agreement on marketing, you shake their hand and say, so you want me to do your marketing? Got it. Let's talk price. So we agree on this price. Yes, got it. Then they're going to say, well, what about the fees? There's always an agent, as I mentioned, who's going to cut their fees to win the business. The difference between good agents and you is you know how to present your value and position yourselves to win. Let's take a look at a tool that's helped thousands of our clients, right? This simple little graph. Right now, you'd see here it says your marketing plan. You're going to want to stack your 39, your 22, your 18 list right there. I do all of this, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, giving you maximum exposure, and all I charge on the right side, 3%. I charge 3% no matter what. I do all this marketing. You have to ask yourself what we're going to offer to the other agent to incentivize or get the property maximum exposure. And many of you on the line know that they can offer 2%. Did I say that out loud? And the property still sells. But 2.5 is better, and 3% is optimum. And we're even seeing in today's unbelievable market, listings coming out at 3% to you, 3.5% to the other side, and those properties sell quickly. Now, at the end of the day, you know your market. You notice I don't really even spend a lot of time emphasizing the other side. What I want is you to get your fees. You know, if you're going to do all this marketing, if you're going to do all this stuff to attract new business, I want you to win the fees that you deserve. So by presenting your marketing plan, by looking at, you know, I do 3% no matter what, maximum exposure at the top, 3.5% to the other agent, everybody's going to know about it. Your listing is going to be the belle of the ball. Everybody's going to be talking about it. No matter what, I only charge 3%. By doing that, you're going to win. By doing that, you're going to win. Having this, by the way, written out nicely with your company logo, and then, you know, maybe having it shrink wrapped, or, you know, that plastic, you know, whatever that device is called, and you actually hand it to the sellers, one for Mrs., one for Mr. as an example, and you got one, and you're talking about, I do all of this for 3%. You've got to build a case around your value. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm going to do all this marketing, but Tom, the market's hot. I understand the market is hot. And just because the market's hot doesn't mean I'm not going to do maximum marketing to expose your property as much as possible. Matter of fact, I'd like us to, you know, put in the contract, we are not accepting any offers for 2 weeks to see how many offers we can get. Allow me time to do a big open house. Allow me time to get some direct mail out. Allow me time to get my video circulated. Allow me to do all this, and let's see if we can create an absolute frenzy on your home. I do all that for 3%. That's how you win, my friends. That's how you win your fees. Having a presentation and knowing what to say to have the confidence to win. So I wrote down for you. Want my slides? What happened last time when we said this? Everybody's like, oh, my God, he went too fast. We want the slides.
I've been getting email for days.
Yeah, exactly, right? So here's the deal. You ready? This is where I got to be super mindful. I actually look at my new slide, Brad. Prescription without proper diagnosis is malpractice.
You mean lawsuit?
Yeah, thank you. But you know, this is actually from a buddy of mine who I was describing this. He's a brain surgeon here in Newport at Hogue, and he's like, Tom, you can't just give people this stuff. They'll be dangerous, and dangerous in a bad way, meaning they might not do a SWOT analysis on their own business. They may not look at their own market the way we would look at it and say, this is how you modify it. This is how you tweak it. This is how you make it work for you. You know, are you sweat equity or check equity? You know, are you going to be door knocking and dropping, or can you afford to mail? And one of the things that I notice is when people get a hold of my stuff, Brad, they just start like replicating it. They don't think, they just right throw it out in the marketplace, versus, you know, having somebody help custom and think and tweak and assess and look at.
Sure.
You with me? So
Totally.
prescription without proper diagnosis is malpractice. I'm not into that. So here's what I wrote down. You ready? You want to outlist the competition with our help? My team is here to help you create a breakthrough. If you desire more accountability, more follow-through, you want to improve your marketing effectiveness, you want to enhance your skills, you want to get more organized, then reach out to my office and say, I want help, right? I want help. Let's talk about it. Send me all the slides, right? They email it to you, bam. But what we want to say to you is, look, how can we help support you more? And whether we help support you more today or we help you support you more a year from now, it doesn't make a difference to us because we're not going anywhere. But what we don't want you to do is just take the stuff and have it just be one more webinar, one more stack of stuff that you don't do anything with. Like, I'm willing, Brad, to give them, if they call my office or they text or they email, I'm willing to give them the entire marketing plan, all my slides, a blank marketing plan, and 45 minutes with one of my coaches dissecting what they're doing to see if we can have an impact, if we can move the needle. If, like Zillow, they can have a big, massive ROI, which is what our clients are doing with us today. So here's what I wrote down. You ready? Here's your options. You can call us, right? By the way, that's 888-TOM-FERRY. I love that I own that. 888-866-3377. Ask for Crystal or Tori. They're in the office right now, talking to people, scheduling appointments every day. They'll get you scheduled with one of our coaches. You can text me, right, 949-988-0622. You can email my sales manager, David Keesee. That's 2 E's, right, D-K-E-E-S-E-E. David Keesee at your coach. And we'll get you the stuff. We'll schedule a call. And let's see if we can help you create a big breakthrough in your business by really, analyzing what's working and what's not, and how we can move the needle, how we can help shift your business to get even more. So, check that out. Obviously, I'm all over Facebook and YouTube, and you guys know all that stuff. I'm a huge advocate of Zillow and a big fan, and, I've supported Zillow a lot and helped, thousands of people get on Zillow, and I'm just a giant advocate. So, Brad, I want to just kind of say in closing, a couple things to this group. The market is going to continue to be hot like this for the next 2 to 3 years, and the question is, are you going to dig down deep in yourself and find out ways to really influence the situation, to move the needle, to make the money you deserve? Or are you going to be like so many agents that wake up on a Thursday in 2017 and say, what happened? I missed the opportunity. I was too busy in my tiny snake cage saying, you don't understand my problems, or you don't understand my market, or my average sales price is $4, and you're showing this high-end New York City crazy stuff or San Francisco stuff. Listen, it's about resources versus resourcefulness. Everything we work on with our clients can be done at zero cost, right? Sweat equity or check equity. And there's no right or wrong way. It just comes down to, are you going to blame resources or are you going to be resourceful? And I just challenge all of you as powerful business people, as powerful salespeople, as good people. Let's do something together. Let's see if we can shift your business and do something special. So reach out to my office today. Let's talk. Let's get connected. And let's have 2013 be all of our best year ever.
Sounds good.
Brad, that's what I wanted to share, and I turn it back to you, my friend, and where we go from here is up to you. I got a meeting starting in about 4 minutes.
Okay, so in 1 minute, speaking of resources, you've been a great resource for us, Tom, and I want to just mention, can you just talk to this for a minute? We have a new theme on the Premier Agent websites at Zillow that you were very influential. In fact, they named it after you. I'm going to actually show that here. There it is. It's called the Tom Ferry theme. What can you tell us about that?
So hold on, I gotta just, there you go. I did get my slides down. So what happened was, for the last probably 8 or 9 years, I've had 1,000 agents say to me, you seem to have a unique perspective on sort of the consumer data. I'm fortunate. I can pick up the phone and I can get Spencer, Raskoff on the phone and say, Spence, you got 50 million views. Where are people clicking? What are they looking at? What's important? What's not? I do a lot of research on consumer trends. So, when people ask me, like, could you design a website? I just say, well, look, I'd have this element and that element, and I'd make sure I follow the F pattern versus the Z pattern. And when most people go, what's that? That scares me. You know what I mean? So then I describe the Z pattern of advertising and the F pattern of the eyeballs online, and that immediately gets people shifting and thinking differently. And then I say you got to make sure that you're following sort of this eyeball pattern, and here's the things that are most important. Well, you know, after doing this 8 gazillion times and basically helping a lot of web companies go out and sell big, expensive websites to people, you know, when you know, you guys bought that IDX company, I got the phone call, hey, would you design a website for us? I'm like, you know, I'm not you know, proclaiming to be some web geek expert. There's many people that are better at it than I am, but I do know what moves the needle because I pay attention. So I designed something like this, and I, you know, tweaked it and adjusted it and showed it to clients, and we put it up and we tested it, and now we made it available through you guys for, you know, everybody. And certainly the price is right for this group. And as I'm about to do with my next coaching client, Brad, he has 39 active websites today.
Wow.
And, you know, he says, look, I mean, his name is Cliff Stevenson. You should all Google him. He's a great agent up in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. He'll sell about 200 homes this year, of which about 70% are generated through his online marketing strategies. You know, everything from, you know, Calgary Homes for Sale to cliffstevenson.com and, you know, 37 others. I just think that a good agent today cannot have enough websites. You can't have enough presence online. You with me? I mean, beyond just LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and you know, a Google Plus account and your YouTube channel. You know, if you took, for me, I would say, Brad, how many of these websites can I have? And I would literally do geographic farming specific websites with the Zillow page. You with me? Like it'd just be Irvine Terrace Homes for Sale and, you know, Bananaville Homes for Sale, over and over and over and over in every one of the marketplaces that I wanted to dominate. And, you know, if each one brings you 2 or 3 transactions, you know, at the cost of $10 a month or whatever ridiculous price you guys offer, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that was a long answer, buddy. Sorry.
Hey, no, that was great, and I know you got another call. So, Tom, you're beautiful. Don't ever change, and we hope to have you back here again soon. Folks, again, if you're trying to get any information, I put up his website here. It's yourcoach.com. His people are there. They're great people. They're ready to answer phones if you need any of the materials or support. I won't have any of that available, so you can email me. I love getting your emails, but you'll just get a response sending you right here to yourcoach.com. Tom, thanks a lot. Everybody, thanks for joining us today. Don't miss tomorrow. If you're a Premier Agent on Zillow, we're going to give you step-by-step instructions how to get more contacts, more appointments, and more closings as a Premier Agent. It's our next step onboarding session. Hopefully we'll see you here for that. If not, just go to Zillow.com/academy, and you can sign up for any of the upcoming free webinars sponsored and brought to you by Zillow. Have a great rest of the day, afternoon, and get out there and sell America. Take care now. Bye-bye.